Okay, the purpose of this video is to show you how to do Culminating Task Part 2. So if you go to our list of assignments on our course homepage, which by this time you guys should be pretty used to doing, and you scroll all the way down, you're going to find the section dedicated to Culminating Task Part 2. The one right above it is the Culminating Task Part 1. And so if you're on part 2, that means you probably did part 1 already. Part 1's the one where you just come up with a business plan or an idea for a business that you're then going to take through the accounting cycle in the subsequent parts of the culminating task. So that's what part 2 is all about. So you've got your idea now for your business, and then part 2 is kind of setting up the accounting system to keep track of your new business. So this is kind of like an accounting cycle simulation. All right. So what I wanted to do was just kind of show you where to find the information for the assignment, and then also just a little bit about what's expected in the assignment. So the first thing that you would do is click on this link here, the Unit 2 Activity 6 Assignment 1 link. This is where you're going to find the actual information about the assignment. So if you click on that, it'll take you all the way back to Unit 2 Activity 6. And this is the summative part of that unit. And then if you scroll down, you're going to see the Assignment 1 section. And this is actually where we're going to get our information for this part of the culminating task. So basically what this is a list of transactions for your new business. So the one that you created in part 1. So it's going to give you some transactions to make this business legit. It's going to make it so that you have some things to record and some money to deal with within your new business. So for example, in the first transaction, you see you personally invested $2,000 into your business. So you injected some capital into your business because you believe in it and you think it's going to be a big money-making venture. So you're taking $2,000 of your own money and you're putting it into the business. All right, and then so on and so forth. These transactions will be things that you guys are familiar with. And then particularly in this one, it's pretty basic since this goes all the way back to Unit 2. This just has to do with setting up a balance sheet, doing the T accounts and those sorts of things. So this is where you're going to get most of your information in order to do the assignment. Now, speaking of doing the T accounts and the balance sheet and the trial balance and all that stuff, you'll need a template to do that. So if you go back to our course homepage and you go to the Culminating Task Part 2 section again, in the right-hand side, you're going to see where you can get your assignment template. So when you're ready to start this, you can click on that and it will download the Excel template that'll give you all the stuff that you need for this assignment. So I'll click on that and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so I already have that open. So anyway, when you guys open it, you'll be able to open it like that, but I already have it open, so I'll pull it up here. So when you download it, it's going to look like this. You guys will recognize these T accounts, and then you'll see that it has 4 different sheets involved. So the first one's the T accounts. So the T accounts are the first thing that you're going to do. The second thing will be your trial balance, which will be based on your T accounts. And then you'll do your balance sheet, which again will be based on your trial balance sheet. And then they give you an income statement, which I believe, I don't think we actually have to do for this assignment. So the income statement, you can leave blank for now, although I think it'll be pretty simple and uninvolved. I'm trying to remember if we need to do that. When we get to the checklist, we'll see if we need to do the income statement. Okay. So anyway, let me give you kind of an idea of what you're supposed to do here. So back to the T accounts. Once you've got this open, you can go to your assignment page. And as I said, they give you this list of transactions. So you're going to pull that up. And you're going to take a look at your transactions, and you're just going to transfer them into your T accounts, very similar to an assignment we did way back in Unit 2, which hopefully you kind of remember. So for example, the first transaction here, you personally invested $2,000 into your business. So as you may recall, with the T account exercise, we need to decide where that $2,000 is going to go within our business, right? So the other thing you're going to notice is on the T account template they give you, they haven't named the accounts. So you're going to have to do that as you go along. So for transaction number one, that 2,000 is going to go one into our bank account, so we can use it as cash. And then it's also going to go into our capital account, because that's going to be the value, monetary value that we have in our business so far. So when you go to your T accounts, you can just go up here and you can delete this DR account or debit account. And you can just put in the name of the account there, and that'll fill it in for you. Bank, and then it's $2,000. So you'll put $2,000 in the debit side. Remember, bank is an asset account. So when we're adding to asset accounts, we debit it. So it's a debit account. And what's nice about this template is you'll notice that it's going to do the calculations for you. So it's set up with the formulas already in it. So as you enter stuff into it, it'll do these calculations, which is kind of nice. All right, so that was the bank account that we just set up. And then we need to go find a credit account for our capital account, so we can put the 2,000 in the capital account. Now, the reason I said you have to find a credit account is, remember that a capital account is part of the owner's equity section. And so that one, when you add to it, you have to credit it, right? And then that way also we'll have a $2,000 debit and a $2,000 credit. So it'll balance out, right? So this one, I'm just going to put my last name, Holiday Capital, as the name of this capital account. And then I'm going to credit the $2,000 because this is an equity account. So when we want to add to it, put it on the credit side. So we got our 2,000 there. All right, so that's kind of the basic idea behind doing these T accounts. As I said, hopefully you guys remembered how to do this from your previous assignments. If not, of course, you can ask me. But that's the basic idea. So you'll go through all 10 of these transactions, and according to what amount and what accounts they affect, you'll do what I just did. All right, so that's that. And then the trial balance. Again, this is one that you guys hopefully will remember doing. You just need to put in the names of the different accounts that you have in your business. So after you do all these transactions in your T accounts, you should have several of these different T accounts set up. You'll put the names of them into the trial balance. So right now we just have bank, and we've got our capital account. As I say, there's going to be many more than that. Not too many more, luckily, but there's definitely a few more accounts. And then remember, you just go and you look at the totals in these accounts, and you put them in according to whether they're a debit total or a credit total. So our bank is a debit total. So I'm just going to do that trick where you put in the equal sign, and then you go back to the cell that you want to get your total from. So in this example, this one here, and I'm just going to hit enter, and that's going to load it up there. And then over here, I'm going to take my capital in the credit spot and hit equal. And I'm going to grab my total from here and hit enter, and it'll load it up for you. Now, remember, you don't want to do the trial balance until you have all of the T accounts done, right? Because likely this number for the bank and this number for the capital will be different once you get through all of the transactions. I'm only doing this right now just, for illustrative purposes. You'll do this once you're done with your T accounts. All right, but that's the basic idea for the trial balance. Once you get all of your accounts loaded in here with the proper amounts and the proper debit or credit columns, remember that these two numbers at the bottom should balance if you've done everything correctly. If they don't balance, then you probably got a issue or a problem. The balance sheet. The balance sheet is you just load up your accounts, remember, by assets, by liabilities, and by equities. And then again, this one is all, the formulas are all loaded into it. So as you put in your accounts and the values for those accounts, it'll auto calculate all of these things. So that's kind of nice. And so those numbers that you put in here will come from your trial balance. And then the next thing I want to do is just check the checklist to see if we have to do the income statement. As I said, I kind of think I remember that you don't have to, but let me check real quick. So I'm going to go back to the course homepage. And I'm going to take a look at that checklist link that we have here. All right, so we're back to the Culminating Task Part 2, part of the assignment list on our course homepage. And then this checklist, I'm going to look at that. I believe it's already downloaded and open, so I'm going to open it on mine. But when you guys click on this, it should download it and then give you a Word file. So this checklist is kind of valuable because it lets you know if you've done everything that you need to do for this assignment before you turn it in. So I highly recommend looking at this. I've completed my T accounts. If you have, just put a highlight or something on there so you know. I completed my trial balance, yes. I completed my balance sheet, yes. My debits equal my credits on my trial balance, yes. Accounting equation balances on my balance sheet. So basically my assets are equal to my liabilities and equities. I've purchased a new piece of equipment for my business and I've withdrawn money from my business. Okay, those last two, those refer to a couple of the transactions that are in this assignment. So I'll click over there real quick to show you what that means. So here on transaction 7 and transaction 8, they give you the option of putting in an amount. And so 7 is they ask you to buy a piece of equipment for the business and then ask you to record that in the property accounts. Feel free to say whatever you want for that one as far as what the equipment is, whether that's a screen printing machine, a computer, some sort of salon thing, whatever your business is. You can be creative with whatever the equipment is. But do me a favor and just make the value of the equipment $1,000. The reason I say that is when I'm checking these and looking at your work, it's going to be a lot easier if the numbers for those are standardized. So I can kind of quickly see whether or not things are being put in correctly. If everybody chooses a different number for these, it's just going to make my job of marking things a little bit harder. So for the new piece of equipment, make it worth $1,000. And then for the money in transaction 8 that you're taking out of the business or your drawings, just do that for $50. And I have reminded you of that, or reminded you of that request right here in the Culminating Task Part 2. Just right there in the far right column, I say, note, make the value of the purchased equipment in transaction 7 $1,000. Make the value of your drawings in transaction 8 $50. So just a little reminder there. As I say, makes it easier for me when I'm marking this. All right. And so the other thing that we were looking for on that checklist is there is no income statement necessary for this one. So even though they have a place for the income statement on our assignment template, it's not necessary to do that, at least for now. I believe in the next part 3 or part 4, they make you do an income statement. So we'll put it off until then. All right. And then the last thing is, once you've got your template all filled out and you've done everything that's necessary for this assignment, you can go ahead and click this link here. And this will take you to the submission page for Culminating Task Part 2. You can upload your file, attach it, and submit it, and that's where I'll be looking for it. All right, and so that's basically it. And then we have the video instructions here, which obviously if you're watching this, that's how you found it. So as soon as I'm done with this, I'll upload it and make this a link. All right, I hope that helped, and we will see you next time.